Hey guys, in this video, we're doing a deep dive on one of our midterm rentals that we manage here in Los Angeles, California. If this is the first time you're seeing our channel, my name is Alan Duan. I own a MTR, Midterm Rental Property Management Company here in SoCal. We serve Los Angeles County and North Orange County as well. So, sharing this with you guys so you have an idea if you're new to MTRs, what an MTR looks like, what kind of numbers, we'll kind of go into for this specific property, and who rents an MTR like this. So, all right. This is a series we do. We have some other properties on our channel if you want to kind of see a different size property or different type of property where we do these deep dives. So let's jump into it. So here's kind of the format. We'll talk about the properties first, the numbers, who rents it, the tenants, and how we found this property and this client. So this is the listing. This is on our website. If you're kind of confused by the format, we list on Airbnb as well, Furnish Finder, other sites that are not owned by us, and it's the same listing, right? Same photos, same description, and all that, but using our website because it's our website. So this property is a townhome. It is a 3-bed, 2.5-bath townhome, and it is in the city of Torrance, which is in what we call the South Bay of LA County. And we'll look through some of these photos. It is a relatively updated, nice townhome. I would say well designed, professionally designed, for sure. 2-story. You can see some stairs here in the living room. It has some community amenities. So this is a community pool. I think that's the main amenity that's available in the townhome, like HOA. There's a little outdoor area here, so you can see in this photo. This is like the front door, and there's an outdoor area that's gated. That's the only outdoor space there is, but it's set up nicely. I think the owners made when they set it up, they made the most of it. Some context: as a property manager, our owners set up the property and then we manage them, and of course we provide guidance if they need help with that process. I would say the highlight of this property, if I was staying here personally with me and my family, what I love the most about this property, and I'll try to get a good shot of it, is the master bedroom suite. So the master bedroom, let's scroll down here. This is good. This is a kind of an angle here. So this is the master bedroom. There's this half that's in the background here is, what you might consider the actual bedroom part. There's the king bed with 2 nightstands, and there's a walk-in closet off to the right here, off camera. And then you could tell on this side, closer to the foreground, the other half of the master suite, there's a sitting area, like a little living room, sofa, like little coffee table. If I go back to another photo here, this is what it faces. It faces a TV and a gas fireplace. And on the left right here is actually a desk workspace. Let me get it angled. Here we go. This desk is to the left of that TV and fireplace. So great space and I have young kids, so I can imagine sitting in here, having some privacy, maybe doing some work if I work from home. I think that really is this highlight of this unit. This is the master bathroom. Again, the unit's all updated, but larger master bathroom, en suite, of course. Yeah, so to me, that's the highlight of this property. Is a 3-bed. So this is 1 bedroom, and there's 2 more like regular sized bedrooms, right, for the kids or whatnot. There are again, in addition to the pool, I mentioned earlier, these are common use barbecue grills. Looks like they're gas grills, which is cool. I would say these are relatively nicer grills. They're not just like a charcoal grate that you have to bring charcoal. But yeah, so beautiful space. I love the design. That's the property itself. Let's jump into the numbers. So we've managed this property for a little over a year now. So this is, I think it's like 14. We'll say 14 months, maybe 15 months. So the last 14 months, this is the range of the monthly rates that we've been renting this property. For MTRs, if you're not familiar, it is typically a larger range because of varying demand throughout the year as well as the different types of bookings. Um, yeah, we'll kind of go into that a little bit. But for example, an insurance relocation booking tends to pay better because it's covered by the insurance policy, as opposed to like maybe someone traveling for work might have a budget. So every MTR that we manage, every MTR period will have a range of what you should expect for the rent. So this is what the actual range has been for all of our bookings the last 14 months or so. But of course, compared to a long-term rental, you don't have your 95 to 100% occupancy because there's inevitably gaps between each stay, right? So this property year to date, so this is right now end of September, so this is 9 months essentially, right? The year to date has been occupancy has been 83%, which is great. Anything over 80% is very healthy for MTR. We want to see properties, at least in our market, between 75 to 80% occupancy for healthy revenue. And then average length of stay. All the stays have been between 1 to 4 months. Average is probably like 2 months. And this again will vary based on who, which we'll get to, who's staying. I believe the longest stay, the 4 month stay, was the insurance relocation. If you're not familiar with this, this is when someone local has damage to their home and their insurance company pays for alternative housing while their home is being fixed. So typically those fixes will take a little longer, 3 months, maybe up to 6 months even. As opposed to the 1 month stays usually are work travel, maybe someone just visiting family and friends for a longer staycation or not vacation slash remote work if they have that kind of setup. So that might be 1 month. But here's the data for this property, the length of stay. And this is an interesting data point I always include in these videos because a lot of you may have, maybe renting your property as an unfurnished, 12-month lease, and you're interested in MTRs because of additional income, right? And how does that compare, right? Because there is additional cost. So I'm gonna pull up my calculator here and kind of look at this together. So the long-term rate for this unit I estimated as 2,900. We don't know for sure because obviously we're not renting it out, but just looking at comps in the area right now. So let's just get this number first, right? So assuming you have rented the whole year, this is the annual. Okay, I just have that number there to compare. So MTR again has extra expenses. We're not going to consider the expenses that you would already have as a long-term rental, such as your mortgage and insurance and tax and stuff like that, because those costs are there for LTR or MTR, right? So we're just looking at what are the additional expenses for MTR. Generally, the bulk of that is utilities, because you as the owner of the MTR will pay for the utilities. So then when the tenants move in, the utilities are included in the rent. So for this property, it's a townhome. Utilities won't be as high as if it was a single family home. So I'll estimate, let's just go, I'll go a little higher, right, to get kind of a conservative estimate here. So we'll say 400 is the utilities. So that's electric, gas, internet, that kind of stuff. The other category of additional expenses is what we call consumable supplies, or just supplies for short. And this is like the soap, the paper products, what else? Coffee and tea, if you want to provide that. And that's not a big expense because we're not continually providing it 12 months of the year. We only, and this is how our business does it, we only provide a starter amount when the guests first move in. I use the word guests in exchange of, interchangeably with tenants. So when the guests move in, they have a starter amount to kind of settle in, provide some hospitality. And if it's like a 4 month stay, they'll actually any stay, even 1 month, they will buy additional supplies for themselves as they need. So it's a small amount, but let's just round up and say the total monthly expense is 500. So if we take the 5,300 monthly rate, and let's subtract 500 for those expenses, and we multiply that by 12, right? That's the multiply by 12, which is assuming you had 100% occupancy. So we want to factor in the 83% occupancy, and we get 47,808. So this is the take-home annual income. So we removed the $500 a month expense, and we also counted for vacancy, and the MTR annual revenue is almost 48,000 compared to long-term rental at about 35,000. So you see, this is what really, again, this is very rough. I don't have the spreadsheet open up exact numbers, but roughly estimating how much how much additional this property makes as an MTR compared to an LTR. So healthy margin there. Over 10K a year more additional income. I would say almost 1,000 more. What is that? Let's see, minus 34,800. So basically $1,000 a month more cash flow. I think most of us would like to have $1,000 or more a month income to do something with or reinvest. So those are the numbers. Jumping here to this question here of who rents an MTR like this. So this is kind of true of just not this property specifically, but this property size and maybe the location, maybe the amenities. Looking through the bookings that we have had, so this is not just examples, but actual bookings. We had someone going through divorce, so they, unfortunately, they had to move out of the home for the meantime, and it's a temporary situation, right? Insurance relocation we talked about when someone's home is damaged and they're waiting for their home to be repaired. And we had one booking that was a travel healthcare professional. Not sure if it's a travel nurse, or it could be a travel, physician, different type of healthcare professionals who travel and do like, short-term contract work. So that's who's rented the property. And lastly, how we found this property. If I remember correctly, this was someone who found us through Facebook and the content we post there. And I think they may also have been a referral. So that this is kind of less important to MTR. This is more of an interesting thing as far as the property management or if you're in the co-hosting business. But that's the overview of this property. We call it Vermont 13. It is a property that I like. It's one of the properties that we manage that I would love to stay in myself. We have a handful of those that I can say that about, mainly because it's family friendly. Hope that's helpful for you. If you have any questions about MTRs, reach out. Happy to help. The best way I can help you with your MTR questions is our school community. So it's going to be in the description below, but it's a free community where there's message boards, just like a Facebook group. But more importantly, we do a weekly call, live call, where we do Q&As answering you guys' questions. We have guest speakers, experts in the MTR space from all over the country come share with you guys. And we have some resources for you guys there. But me and James, we host that community, and it's the best way for us to help you guys with your MTR needs.